So right here we have obviously the new leaf springs. These are Hotchkiss sport suspension, 1-inch drop in the rear. I was gonna go for lowering blocks originally, but then I found these. Figured it was a much better option. Kit comes with the new front perches, the U-bolts, all the hardware, everything. So plan now is to drop the rear end out of it, and then we're gonna put these in and go pick up a new rear end. So right now we just got the rear end out. Obviously we took the shocks out, tires off, everything's over there. Now we're gonna take the leaf springs out. Take the fronts out first and then take the backs out. Alrighty, so you can see we got both the leaf springs out. They're just sitting over there. The fronts here actually came out super easy. Same with that side. Backs were a little bit of a challenge, but I see these mounts. Still got to take those off. Already got one off that side there. But yeah, that's it. Both these springs are out. The rear end is obviously out. So I think now we gotta just mock up the new leaf springs were sitting over there and then wait on a rear end. So taking a closer look at this now that it's out of the car, I didn't realize how narrow it actually is. Probably doesn't look that narrow, but the wheel's set about 4 or 5 inches in from the side of the quarter panel here. And the axles obviously are super small, so the 7 1/4 was bound to go, and hopefully, got my fingers crossed that we can land on this other rear end, not the 8.8, but this other rear end we have in mind. So obviously these here are the rear leaf spring shackles. These are the original ones, and this is the new one. We just took these right here, cleaned them up obviously, had to bend them back because they were all pretty crooked. So now this one's perfectly straight. Cut it down and clean them all up, and if we need to get it any lower, we can just drill holes there and then chop it off. This is the stock ride height, and then with the 1-inch lowering springs it should be at the right height, but if we need to lower it, like I said, we'll just drill holes and cut it. Here is the final product of the shackles here. Obviously I welded up, yeah, it was this one. You can kind of see some marks from it. That's all welded up now. Primed them, shot them all gloss black. Now we're off to go pick up the rear end. Alright, so it's kind of a funny story on how we found out about this rear end. So we were at AutoZone probably a month ago. We had to go get a couple things. For the first fire up on the engine here, we had to get like a fuel line, fan belt, filter, just some small things. And we were there, the guy recognized my F-bomb hoodie. He was like, "Oh, you guys are Roadkill fan stuff." Yeah, we ended up talking. He asked obviously what car we were working on, and he knew it was a Duster, and then he told us about his buddy that had a 74 Duster, the 440 or something, he said. And we were like, "Oh, cool," right? Like, we talked to him for like 20 minutes, and then my dad went back a couple of days later. He had to get, I don't remember what it was, I think it was paint or something, and he saw him there. And this is after we took the rear end out, and we were still like thinking about it, you know, and he's like, "Oh, my buddy with that 74 Duster, he's taking the rear end out and stuff." And my dad asked him what it was. He said 8 1/4. And at first we didn't know like really what that was, because my dad's not a Mopar guy, he's a GM guy obviously. We know what the 8 3/4 was, so we were like, like we weren't sure if this was totally true. Sure enough, we looked it up, got his number, and yeah, he ended up taking it out just 2 days ago, and he was finished taking it out today. So we're gonna go pick it up right now and I'll give you guys kind of a recap and catch you up on what it is, all the details when we get it here home. Alright, very hard to see because it's dark out, but we just picked up the new rear end. We had to cut the leaf springs off so you could see the U-bolts. We just took a Sawzall to them and cut them off both sides in the guy's driveway. That was fun. Came right off though. Loaded it up. It's an open diff, drum brakes obviously. Don't know the gear ratio. I'm gonna find that out tomorrow. So tomorrow plan is I'm gonna wire wheel the entire thing, paint it. You can kind of see, I'll get a better picture in the day of how dirty it is. It's not too bad. There's some rust, but I mean, it's not awful. Way better than the tiny garbage 7 1/4 right there. So I'm super happy with this. I don't know, not much else to it, but hopefully we'll have it in within a week or two. So this here will be the shock mounting plate right here. These were the ones off the 8 1/4. These are off the 7 1/4. Turns out they're the exact same, but these are the original U-bolts. They just go in there. And then these are the new ones. You can see how much bigger they are. And obviously they're not even close to fitting in there. So we had to weld these up. We're gonna grind it down. And then we're gonna drill new ones with the drill press here. And then those will go in there just like that.
Cutting oil.
So we just finished drilling out, obviously we welded up the mounts before, and then we just finished drilling them out. And as you can see, the U-bolts barely fit around the leaf spring, so that's perfect. Tomorrow we're gonna sandblast this and clean up the rear end. All right guys, it's the next day after we just picked up the rear end. I'm walking out to the garage here, and I'll flip the camera on and show you guys exactly what we got going on. So right here, here's a better view of it because it's actually light out now. But yeah, this is an 8 1/4. We don't know the gear ratio yet. We're gonna find that out today. We gotta take the cover off. But I mean, the brakes are brand new. Actually, the guy rebuilt them, so we don't have to do that. But you can see it's not that rusty. We're gonna wire wheel the whole thing, sandblast the cover, the shock mounting plates, the new ones that we just drilled out last night, and then paint the whole thing and probably just slide it under there with the leaf springs just on the front because we gotta wait for the rear shackle hangers. So let's see when we get done today. Just finished cleaning up the entire thing, did the top and the bottom side there, wire wheeled it, and then had to scrape a lot of the dirt like on there. And my dad took apart the brakes here. We're gonna take the axles out, take the backing plate off because we're gonna sandblast that, the diff cover, same with this one, and then the shock mounts. See, got all there, and then hopefully today or later today we'll paint it all. So we just had issue, the differential pinion locking bolt that goes in there snapped off, and the longer half was stuck in there. So we used a reverse drill bit, drilled that out. That's good now. So we got to get a new one of those. But we had to take that out, or take the axles out. So we got the backing plates there. We're gonna sandblast. Axles sitting right there. So now that we got that figured out, victory that we got it all out now, just letting gear oil drain, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alrighty guys, so we just brought the rear end inside from outside because it's raining right now, so we didn't want that to get all rusty and stuff. But we're gonna go get new seal for that, axle seals. Want to sandblast this stuff, but like I said, it's raining, so I don't know if we're gonna get to do that today. But I want to throw a light coat of paint on this, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We did another round of cleaning, and I don't know, it's hard to tell on camera, but there's so much dirt you guys probably saw earlier on this thing, and I'm so glad we got it all off. Much cleaner now. So I'm really happy with this. More to come. Alright, right now we're filling up the sandblaster, filtering out all this sand because we used it on some of the engine parts Got our screen filter here. We got all the parts laying over there. Just finished sandblasting the diff cover, the backing plates, and then the shock mounting plates. Came out pretty good. Somebody bent that, so we're gonna fix that. And then it was getting very humid out. We were running out of sand on these, but got all the big stuff off. Can always just scuff that up. Put some primer on it. That's all these. So now I think we're gonna put the diff cover on, put a couple bolts in it, and then prime the rear end. So just threw some primer on all the parts sandblasted, obviously. Just cleaned up those for my buddy of mine, sending those off to him. But we're gonna do the diff cover on the rear end, throw a couple bolts in it, and prime that all together. But we decided to prime and paint these off the rear end, obviously, because it would be easier to paint and assemble. Just threw a light coat of primer on the rear end here, and then the diff cover, and shaking up the black paint. So we're gonna shoot this on here real quick. Just did 2 coats paint on these backing plates there, shock mounting plates, and the rear end here. It looks very good. What do you say, Dad?
Oh yeah.
Very enthused, am I right?
Very tired.
And while we had the diff cover off, we counted the gear, and what do we say it was?
16 to 47, which is the 294.
So it is a 294, which is good, right?
Better than something lower, yeah.
Better than the tiny rear end back there.
Yes.
Here is the rear end after 2 coats of paint. I am extremely excited with the way this came out. After all the work me and my dad put into this today, we are so stoked that it came out this nice. It looks brand new. I mean, oh, so good. There's the backing plates, obviously. We got the shock mounts over here. Obviously, we did 1 coat or 2 coats on the other side, flipped it over onto this side, and then painted it like this. So we're gonna let that dry tomorrow. May have to do 1 more coat just in a couple spots here or there. But now we just gotta wait for the rear shackle mounts from Classic Industries to get here. That'll take a couple days, but other than that, we got the leaf springs already. Rear end is painted, just gotta fix or put the C-clips back in, the axles back in. Gotta replace that 1 nut or bolt. And then we should be good to go. So hopefully within the next week, this will all be in the car. We'll be done with it. All right, it is the next day. And as you can see right here, we got the rear end. It's all dry now. It turned out super good. Everything's all painted. So the goal for today is we're gonna hang the front of the leaf springs because we don't have the rear shackle mounts yet. And then we're gonna slide the rear end underneath the car, kind of get all situated so we can wait for those mounts to show up. Just installed the front leaf spring hangers on there. Gonna put them on, and then we're just gonna hang them from the front while we wait for the rear shackle mounts to get here, and then slide the rear end underneath the car. Right here you can see we got the new differential shift lock bolt. It's like the hardest name to say for just a stupid bolt. But this is the old snapped one. Obviously we ordered this one yesterday and it just came in. It's a hair shorter. It's hard to mock it up because it's in the package. So hoping that's not an issue at all, but that's the exact one that we ordered. So who knows, but we're gonna test fit it now and hopefully it's all good. Axles are back in, put the backing plates on, put the new bolt in, the gasket for the diff cover there, about to put that on, and then slide it underneath and hang it on the leaf springs. Just finish up the first phase, or whatever you want to call it, of the rear end install. We obviously put the leaf springs in, just the 4 bolts up there. The mount's super easy. And then we had to put the rear end up on the leaf springs and then slowly stack up block by block to get up to height. And then the U-bolts, which were back there, those were fun, tough to get on with a custom shock plate mounts there, but it all worked out. So now we just gotta wait on the shackle hangers for the rear here. But we threw on the rims. Check this out. Ta-da! It looks so sweet with both rims on. Hard to see them on camera, but yeah. So hopefully later this week the rear shackle mounts will show up and we can finish this all up and then do the brake lines. Alright, today we're going to work on the brakes for the back. They're just the stock drums. We got to clean them up, kind of rebuild them a little, and then hopefully install them. So I'll show you exactly what we're working with here. You can see those are just the drums. They're kind of rusty on the outside. It's just all surface rust, as most of 50-year-old brakes would be. You can see someone rebuilt these recently. There's new wheel cylinders there, newer shoes. So you just got to clean all those up. Clean the insides out, rebuild them, and then hopefully install them on the car today. Here's a better look at exactly what we're dealing with on the drums here. You can see there's a good amount of surface rust and then just junk on them. So taking the wire wheel to them, gonna repaint them all. And this is the finished product of about 10 minutes of wire wheeling, probably for each drum here. But you can see the outside's cleaned up okay. Nothing great, but what do you expect? It's all rusty. So got most of everything knocked off down to pretty much bare metal now. So just gonna throw some primer and paint on it. Finished installing the brake on this side. We just need to get the equalizer bar for the emergency brake that goes on there. But now we're gonna adjust it and then move on to the other side. Just took the rear brake line off the old rear end here. So we're gonna clean it up, make it all shiny and look new, and then install it on the new rear end. Cleaned up and installed the rear brake lines on the rear end here. We only had one little issue, and that was this short piece right here. This side actually, where it connects to the block, was too long. It went out to here. So cut that. All good now. Just had to bend it a little and install the block, cleaned that up. Had to take this clip off the old rear end, cleaned that up so we can get the perfect, circle around the center section there. Then it goes all the way to that side. So those are installed, those are clean. Now we just gotta wait on some parts for this brake here, just that little rod on that side, and then of course the shackle mounts. It's a while later. I haven't done much on the rear end video here because I've been waiting on some parts like the rear shackles and rear brake hose. So I just got this in today. I'm gonna install it. Let's open it and actually see what we got here. So just ordered it the other day. Came in pretty quick. Yeah, it's even got the distribution block. I cleaned up the old one and put it on, but might as well just use this one because it came with it. So right now I'm going to go throw this on. Just finished up the installation of the distribution block there. Got the 2 lines going in on the side there, and then we got the hose here. So what we have to do next is cut this line down and make that go into the end of the hose there. We're going to have to flare the end and put a fitting on it. Then that will be done, and like I said, right now we're just waiting on these, taking forever to ship, which sucks because I'd like to have this all in place. But I got the shocks in here the other day and they're just hanging from the top there. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it for the rear end. We found out the drive shaft here is about 1.5 inches too long, which is just great. So that's a setback, nothing too bad though. Not sure if any drive shaft shops are open and we'll do this right now. I'm hoping because I want to drive this as soon as possible. But yeah, we're just getting closer and closer. back to rear end progress. So we're messing with obviously the brakes now. These are the equalizer bars for the emergency brake, and these are the ones that we just had. We didn't actually get ones with this. The guy we bought it from, he didn't know that they were missing or anything, just left it as is. And they were too short, obviously, so we had to cut. My dad has some spare ones in the toolbox laying around, so we had to cut them. You can see, weld them, make them longer. Hoping these are gonna work. It turned out pretty good, actually. So we gotta make another one for the other side, obviously, kind of out of these spare parts we got here. And there was the option to, just buy two of them for this exact drum brake here, but it was like $100 for a set of two, and I figured we'd just make our own, see how they work, and I mean, worst comes to worst, buy a set, but $100 for just these things seemed like a bit too much, so this was our plan B if we couldn't find any that fit, and I think we're just gonna roll with that if it works. So my dad finished up making the other equalizer bar here, got it all grinded down. This one made it a little smoother. I was working on the grill over there, so he was doing this right now. He's gonna shoot some primer on it, and then we'll paint them and then install them. There's that side, flip it over when that's dry. And then this here is the piece that hooks on to the drum like that, and then the emergency brake cable goes in there, and then when you pull it, it swings it like that to push the equalizer bar against the shoe, and then it goes like that. So right here we had to extend to this one. You can see there's a little piece in there. Looks basically the same, exact same length, because this was from a 9-inch drum brake, and then we only had one for the 10-inch drum. These brakes were kind of like pieced together. Some parts were there, some parts weren't. And then my dad had some leftover parts from some other cars and stuff, so we made it all work. This one was from the 7 1/4 actually, because it's got the Chrysler on it. So that's what we cut. We put another piece in like that much, and now it matches exactly. So I just got to prime paint those, and same thing with those. Just finished painting up all these brake parts here. It's all dry now. Turned out pretty good. Obviously you're not even going to see these, so I didn't worry too much about getting it perfect, but just didn't want it to rust or anything. So we got all that done. I'm gonna go throw them on the car now and see how it all looks. So just finished assembling both sides. We got one over there finished up. Got this one. Obviously still need to bleed them all and everything, but we got the e-brake cable here. My dad cleaned that up, and then the other one for the other side over there. And then the parts that we made, a little hot rodding, all worked out, so just one step closer. All right, so like after waiting a month for these to ship, finally got the rear shackle hangers in today. So we got both of them all nice and new. You see the old ones here, completely shot. We got the comparison one. I already showed you guys that these were cracked on the inside of there. And then we got some new bolts and hardware right here for them. The old ones were actually bent. These are actually bent pretty good, so we had to get new ones of those. So got the bushings here too. Gonna go throw these in the car now. So here's a quick kind of on the bench little mock-up of what we got going on here. So we got shackle mounts here. We got the shackles just hanging on them for now. You can see it'll go like that in the car. Leaf spring will go into there, bushings, We got the bolts here for right there, and they just go up like that into the floorboard. So I'm gonna go clean these up, paint them, make them all nice, because everything else is nice. And one thing I don't really like about these, or kind of the Mopar style rear ends in general, or rear suspension, is how low these hang. So that's why we cut them, and I want the back of the car pretty low. So like I said, we gotta drill some more holes in that, I think. If we come over here, you can see the rear end sits more far forward on the leaf spring than like on a GM car or a Ford car, you know. That's just how Mopars are. So it's more far forward, but that leaves you with a bigger, you know, length on the back of the leaf spring here from behind the axle. So it hangs down pretty far. Obviously right now it's not mounted, but if you look on any car where it's finished, they do hang down pretty far, and I just don't like the look of that. So I'm hoping with shortening this up, it'll bring, you know, the leaf up like that, and then it'll lower the car at the same time, and hoping it all will just look right in the end. So here we go, we got the shackles and the shackle mounts, little rubber bushings that go in between them there. Put the bolt through it, and this one here is actually the passenger side, which I got right here. So I'm about to throw this one on. All right, so we got both shackles in now. You can see that one, it's all in place right there. And that side is too, so right now we're gonna jack up the rear end to shift it over and put the leaf springs in here, and we ended up drilling another hole a while ago. I forgot to show that up there, just to give us more options. And I think we're gonna put it in. Are we gonna put it in the bottom or the top one first?
I think the top one.
Put it in the top one first there. So we're having some issues with this shackle mount, which goes on that side right there, lining up with everything. We got that one in there. This one's just not lining up, so we're gonna loosen the U-bolt here a little bit. See if we can't move this leaf spring and kind of not twist it, but angle it right, and hope that works. And we just tighten those back down, and then we'll have these both finally installed. It's now the next day, and we worked pretty late last night figuring out exactly why this wasn't aligning. So the issue we were having was that leaf spring was not lining up with the shackle perfectly, and the bolt was not going through it. So we ended up taking the U-bolts off, or loosening them up on both sides here to try to move it around. Still nothing. And if you remember those little plates that are on the front of the leaf spring that hold it to the actual body there, that one on that side over there was crooked, so it was twisting the leaf spring, and that's why it wasn't lining up. So took that off, put it back on straight. This fits perfectly in there now. Super happy with that. And then we're having a little issue with the pin on the leaf spring not lining up with the axle, the little hole on the axle plate there. So we got that all situated, just had to move it around a little. It's crooked. So that's pretty much it for the rear end installation. Just gotta finalize putting those shocks on, and then putting the brake hose onto the brake line, just little stuff. Get rims and tires, figure all that out, put the gas tank back in, and I mean, the back half of the car is pretty much done. Alright, so that's it for this video. Took a little bit longer than I thought it would, because we had to wait on some parts like I was talking about. Waiting on parts is not fun, but I'm super happy. We got a better rear end now, super clean, nice, stronger, ready for a V8 swap, which will happen in the future. Got rid of that dinky 7 1/4 sitting right there. If anybody wants it, $50, come and take it. I'm not gonna do anything with it. That thing was gonna break like immediately, so one day I'll have a sure grip in here, rip some nice burnouts, but that's it. I appreciate you guys watching. I don't know what the next video will be about. I'm just kind of making these as I go, trying to make one at a time, keep it simple. Getting more used to this now, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Well, this doesn't go very much in order with the sequence of the video, but I figured I'd just add it because now it's officially done. So I mounted the shocks last night, and then my dad made this little brake hose bracket here and mounted that all up. So that's all intact. Now we just gotta bleed the brakes, and I mean, it's pretty much done, but it's official now. Gonna go measure a drive shaft and figure all that out.